Good day, folks. Thank you for joining us in another episode. Today, we'll be taking you on a journey to restoring an old, rusty, dried-up car to its full potential. Let's get started. Our first step begins from the front door of the car. We'll be starting up by removing the handle, lock, and the whole cover from the door. Every single piece of equipment, and the door itself will be removed. This is basically our dismantling process. As you can see, apart from the door, we're dismantling the car into a skeleton to start from scratch to set us up for the road ahead. Notice how dusty and rusty the whole thing looks while we take it apart. The machine has served us well, so it's time to give it a makeover before we pull it out on the road again. While we pull everything apart, there's a lot of trimming around the edges of the car that needs to be done as well. This helps us clear the rust coat while also smoothing the edges out for later. As seen here, the angle grinder is our best friend for this purpose. With the trimming and rust clearing process done, it's time to clean up. For this purpose, we'll go ahead and spray chemical to the edges and then get a metal strip welded on the bottom edge. This will serve as a replacement patch panel. When the metal is too rusted and rotted through, we cannot just grind it clean because it becomes too thin and weak. The weld is used to melt the new metal and the old metal together, fusing them into a single solid piece. With the exterior portion complete, it's time to move to the interior side. Now, during our cleaning process, we'll be doing some additions side by side as well. The pieces that we add back to the car, we'll get them painted before-handed. This will save us a lot of time, and since we're currently working on the bottom of the car, it makes sense to get the painting done side by side. We're basically cleaning entire blocks of dust and rust. While cleaning and smoothing works for some parts, there are certain crucial places where new metal pieces need to be applied to strengthen the foundation. These are measured, added, and welded in place and then painted over. Here's how we're looking so far. There's still a long way to go, but progress is progress. Let's give you a little sneak peek into how we're measuring the parts that we're adding to the car. Accurate measurements are needed. We cannot be an inch short or long. Besides that, it's the same process over and over again. We use the angle grinder to clean out the interior, replace the crucial parts with new metal. Before welding them shut, we're painting them over to match the color of the car itself. These pieces that we remove are not wasted immediately. Instead, we use them to carve new pieces of metal with accurate measurements. It's a slow and lengthy process, but good thing we decided to work on the interior and exterior of the bottom portion, since it is one of the toughest parts to work on. It's time to go back to the disassembly project. This time, however, we're focused on the front of the car. We'll get the bonnet and windshield removed with the help of some tools. Here, you can see how badly rust has eaten the metal. The outside looks bad as it is, but the insides are much worse. This is also one of the crucial parts of the car since it holds the windshield with the rest of the body. Back to the same process, we'll use the grinder to clean and clear out the rust. Then, with the help of measurements from the car as well as the parts that we removed, we'll get some clean parts cut and added to the base. Some pieces are welded shut while others require the help of screws before-handed. To finish, we'll get the paint added as we did to the bottom of the car. All of these steps work in tandem, and like mentioned earlier, painting after we weld the parts shut helps save the time for later. Now, for the second difficult part. Our initial work was on the right, bottom side of the car. Then we moved on to the right, front side. It's time to switch places because we'll be applying the same steps and process on the bottom left side. The angle grinder removes rust through mechanical abrasion. It doesn't dissolve the rust like a chemical would. Instead, it uses high-speed rotation to physically chip, scour, or sand the rust layer off the metal surface. Rust is porous and holds moisture. If we leave even a microscopic layer, it will spread again. The angle grinder removes the oxidation layer entirely, leaving a fresh, reactive silver surface that is ready to accept the parts that we're adding later. These parts are then added and painted over to match the color theme of the car. Here's how the left underside is shaping up so far. The structure is starting to take form again, and with the rust completely removed, the car is finally regaining its strength. A lot of the bottom part is done, which means half of the difficult part is over. Let's move on to the top side. With the left underside now cleared of corrosion, the same process continues across the remaining sections of the car's base. Every rusted patch is carefully ground down and inspected, and wherever the metal is too weak to be saved, it is completely removed and prepared for replacement. The goal here is consistency, making sure that every portion of the underbody is as strong and clean as the next. As before, sections are cleaned using the angle grinder, smoothed along the edges, and treated before new metal is introduced. Side by side with the cutting and grinding, freshly fabricated replacement pieces are being painted. This ensures that when they are finally attached, they are already protected and ready to blend in naturally with the rest of the structure. Working on the underside of a vehicle is never easy. The angles are awkward, the metal is often weakened, and rust tends to hide in layers. That's why patience is extremely important at this stage. We revisit each section multiple times, making sure nothing fragile or unstable is left behind. Even the smallest trace of corrosion is taken seriously and removed before moving forward. Let's move on to a different area since we're done with the middle part. Even though the tire was already removed earlier in the process, the upper section that once supported it still shows significant signs of decay. This portion is carefully dismantled and detached from its original position, exposing deeper layers of rust that were previously hidden from view. Once the weakened material is removed, we thoroughly clean and reshape the wheel well. The edges are trimmed, the surface is smoothed out, and the area is prepared to receive new, stronger metal. This step is crucial as the wheel housing not only carries weight, but also absorbs a great deal of vibration and impact while the car is in motion. In between cutting and cleaning, paint is applied to the restored sections to seal the metal and protect it from moisture and air. This immediate coating helps slow down any future corrosion, acting as a protective barrier. You might be tired of hearing this, but painting the sections as we go also allows each area to be completed in stages, rather than waiting for the entire body to be treated at the end. Another important part of this process is alignment. Even though the original material is gone, the new structure must follow the exact shape and measurements of the original frame. We're making small adjustments to maintain symmetry and ensure that, when the wheels are eventually fitted back on, they will sit perfectly in place. Step by step, the lower half of the car begins to transform. What was once flaking, brittle, and damaged is steadily being replaced with fresh, reinforced structure. By the time we reach this stage, the foundation is no longer a liability. It is becoming the solid base this car needs for its second life. We're going to continue this process again towards the exterior part of the wheel well. This is one of the final steps of the exterior portion of the car, because afterwards our main attention will be inside the car. It will serve as a nice change of pace as well. Here's how the inside of the car looks for now. We're going to transform this to a completely new interior. Let's take it to the workshop. Before that, however, have a look at our marvelous piece of work so far. The exterior looks brand new with a fresh coat of metal, and notice how the rust is nowhere to be seen. Anyways, let's get started. So before working on the interior, it's time to get the exterior painted. We'll start by placing newspaper on parts which we don't want to get painted just yet. With the help of some tape, we'll mark the middle portion of the car. This part is what the newspaper will cover. It's important to be careful here as to not overdo the paint in sections where it will cause more harm than good. With everything settled, let's get to painting and coloring. With the entire body covered, we'll get the newspapers removed and look at a job well done. Now comes the best part. Dismantling the entire body was a total pain. Putting it back together will be a walk in the park. It won't be easy, but fun because the piece that we're working on now looks miles better than we had. So to start us off, we'll get a clean, fresh windshield and rear windshield added. A dusty old windshield is completely out of question, so are the windows. We get everything cleaned up and added to the body. Then come the tires. But wait, how about some more paint job to add flavor to the original color? After all, black works best with blue. Let's get it added and see how it looks. Next up, we'll get the rims painted as well. Tires represent the car, and we can't have those looking bad now. With all four ready, we'll get them installed to the car. Now come some small adjustments. New lights, of course. We're giving this car a second life after all, so it deserves fresh, new stuff. Some rubber for the trunk, and finally the logo. You can never go wrong with a logo. Then come the seats, clutch, and handle for the steering. We did mention earlier that we're going to turn that old, dried-up interior to a brand new one. So these are some baby steps leading to the final product. And now comes the final part of our car assembly. We'll get the engine set up and connected to the car. This is a long and tough process, but don't worry, we'll save you the hassle and get it set up. Everything is coming together nicely so far. The exterior is completed, the interior is completed, and all that is left is to breathe new life into this machine. With the help of our handy tools and a lot of back and forth, the engine is assembled and connected to the core. Let's take it for a drive. This is not the final tour yet, because one step is still left. We have to get everything cleaned up to really bring out the look. After a quick drive to the nearest cleaning station, we end our journey by cleaning everything off. And voila! Here's the car completely restored from an old piece of junk.